Hey everyone, welcome to a new video of my multiplayer server. In this video I will show you everything that was built in round 23. And in round 23 we played it at the end of 2018, beginning of 2019. And everybody had to build something in a Christmas theme. We had 15 finished plots in this round. Sadly, this plot made by a water cooler, well, he dropped out quite early in the round. I guess he was intimidated by what everybody else was making. Anyway, without further ado, let's continue to the plot that was ranked 15th. Now, in 15th place we had this plot made by Howler. I think he made it in a pretty short time. Also the story first plot that his plot was the plot that supplied all the trees for the other plots to use. So I guess that's very nice of him. Here's a little crane that he made using tracky texture and some scenery. There's a tree chopper here made with an inverting ship. And other than that, there's some random shops and stalls between the trees. But yeah, I think it could have used some more content to look at, maybe a little roller coaster at least, and then it would have scored a lot better. Now, in 14th place we have this plot made by Burb. The story was something about an evil Santa who actually destroyed a city or something. These buildings actually look okay, but yeah. Burb didn't have too much inspiration or time to finish all this, so yeah, it really shows in this plot. This wall was a lot bigger actually, but I shortened it a lot because it was just blocking a lot of the plot right next to it. So yeah, it's a sort of a weird plot, and it's obviously not really probably what Burb had in mind. This candy floss stall looks like it's crying, and that's probably also how Burb felt about the plot that he made. At least the buildings look sort of decent. Okay, in 13th place we have this plot made by Captain Hologram. Captain Hologram wanted to drop out, but I convinced him to at least make it look sort of finished. So yeah, he has this weird roller coaster using this twisted track. So yeah, one of the custom rides that were available in this round were this reindeer ride. Basically, all the cars are made of sleighs, and the front car has some reindeers in front. And only when Captain Hologram built this ride, I actually learned that this train can also do inversions. It's probably not very safe, but it at least is funny. But yeah, the colors are nice, the track layout is pretty cool, so I guess that's why it still got some good points. Alright, in 12th place we have this plot made by Sheeple. He made this weird roller coaster called Alpenbahn 13. It first gets launched up this hill, and then here it goes off the main track, and then goes through some inversions here, before it climbs up here and then goes down again to the station. Yeah, I think the layout is quite unusual, but the middle part is looks okay. I just think the car goes through it a little bit too fast to be comfortable. You would really get whipped around here like a ragdoll, and that probably would not be very comfortable. Other than that, there's just some random trees and bushes here on the plot. And I guess Sheeple didn't really have too much time to build on it, or just no inspiration. But still, it got 12th place. So not too bad. Alright, here we have the plot that came in 11th place. This one was made by Seer. Well, yeah, there's some cool buildings here. I really like this wall here. I guess this is the gate to the North Pole. Yeah, one thing about this plot is Seer actually built a lot of it while not actually being connected to the server. So all the stuff that was built then is sadly not on this plot here. Maybe I can show a picture of what it was supposed to look like. Seer posted a picture of that, of what it was supposed to look like on my Discord, but he never actually got to rebuilding it. So that's why it only got 11th place. But so yeah, that's just too bad. But the stuff that's here, it really isn't looking too bad. Okay, in 10th place we have this plot made by Coasterkook. That's some pretty cool rides here. One of the custom rides I enabled was this reindeer steeplechase. So it starts in this building. I think the building could have used a bit more layering, so some more decorations on these rock walls. But yeah, the trains start off in the station, then they go really slowly over all these buildings and into this building. This building also looks a bit bland. It probably could have used some more decorations here on the outside. But yeah, then they exit the building, go through this spiral, and then in the end, over this track, they return to the station. There's little snow cups right here, and he also made a maze. Looks like he also rotated the entrance and exit of this ride. And there's also a boat ride here that goes under the steeplechase. Alright, in 9th place we have this plot made by Jochem. As his description said, it's just a sled ride. So here there's a chairlift, which the guests can use to go up the mountain, but also go down. I'm not sure if he actually made a return path, but if he didn't, he really should. Because guests are terrible with pathfinding if there's only a ride that goes up. And here's the sled ride. It's actually a bumper boats ride on a steel wild mouse track, and it will just go down the mountain here using the tight turns from the wild mouse ride. Now, one thing he did was that's not very clever, is that he actually used corrupt elements to hide all the track pieces of the ride. He probably just should have changed it to the lift ride type, because then the guests would just ride it regardless of the stats. The stats now are quite terrible, and that's why nobody actually wants to ride it, except these two, which probably have a big range. Yeah, intensity more than 1. That's probably the lowest you can get. Other than that, some cool looking buildings here. Actually, some decent layering, but that's quite good. Okay, in 8th place we have this plot made by Oetieloetie. He made this little Christmas village, or wintry village. Some nice looking buildings, also with some decent layering on them. Yeah, this plot looks nice, with a little snowman, some snowballs. There's a little observation tower here, some cool buildings. But yeah, what probably didn't, why this plot didn't score any higher is probably because it's really missing an eye catcher. Oh yeah, there's also this reindeer ride on an invisible track above the village. I guess that's cool. But yeah, like I said, it's really missing an eye catcher. It could have probably used a little roller coaster or something. Just something to catch the attention. This plot is really quite easy to miss. I actually had to look a bit. I had to look for it a bit. But yeah, decent plot, I guess. Then in 7th place we have this plot made by Jaron. Jaron really made this plot in record time, like he usually does. Some really nice buildings here. A little coaster that goes around the plot. What's the coaster called? Santa's practice run. I guess this is how Santa practices before going to riding his sleigh over all the buildings. But yeah, it actually has quite a bit of underground track, and these buildings also look quite nice. I think why this plot in Score higher is because it could have probably used a bit more Christmassy decorations. It's now it looks nice, but it doesn't scream Christmas to me. Okay, we actually had a tie for 5th place. So this is one of the people who got 5th place. This plot was made by Capitalism. He was a newcomer on my server in this round, and he made this really cool looking Christmassy village. So a really nice coaster layout. It gets launched up the hill here. The hill is decorated with this hardline twister track, and immediately goes through an inversion. Then it does some more inversions before returning here back to the station. I really like the way these buildings look. They look a bit more festive than the last plot I showed, for example. So a little ice lake here, I guess. Some more buildings on it. Happy birthday, Jesus. It's quite cool. But yeah, this I really like this plot. It looks nice and festive, and some really nice layering on all the buildings. It just looks really good. Okay, here we have the other plot that also ended up in 5th place with the same score as Capitalism. Stravinsky made this little island here, just packed with scenery and buildings. There's this splash boat ride going around the island. It actually travels up the hill here inside the mountain, I guess. It's quite hard to follow. And here you can see it go up. And then it goes through this building and down this waterfall. I like how he used this station track here for a boat ride. I think that actually works quite well for this. Oh, there are some really cool buildings here. Just these walls are layered really well. These are glass walls with nets behind them. I actually never used that trick. I should probably take this idea and use it somewhere. But yeah, I really also like the colors of the buildings on this plot, and it's just packed with stuff, and yeah, really great effort. Also, here he actually used these medieval buildings to replace the entrance huts of this twist ride, and that's also a really cool idea. I really love that. So yeah, great work. Okay, then we get to the top 4. In 4th place we have this plot made by Spons. He made this awesome building. And also in this plot there's a Virginia rail ride, and there's also one of these sleighs flying above the building on an invisible track. You'll see that some more times. But yeah, this Virginia rail is really cool. This goes around this mountain here, which is decorated really nicely. He used these colorable ruins pieces to look like snow or ice pieces. That just looks really good. I like the waterfall here that he made, although it is a bit blocky. But I'm not sure which scenery piece we had available for that. There's a little boat hire here in a little lake in the middle. Yeah, and everything here just looks really nice. Really great work. Just love all the decorations that were made here, and it just looks awesome. Alright, then we get to 3rd place. This plot was made by 94 Supreme Posse. Really great work. He made sort of a diorama. I really like this railway that was built here in the background. With the supports of it look really nice. Some hardline twisted track was used for it, together with some scenery pieces, support pieces on top. I also really like this waterfall. This is part of a splash boat's track, and you can see some waterfall pieces under it. Here's also some river rapid track pieces, and we had some weird pixel effect scenery items, and they were just stacked a lot of time here. But this actually looks really cool. It looks like sort of a mist that you often see at the bottom of waterfalls, and it makes it look quite believable. So yeah, there's a little bit more of a train track going around the plot. Oh, the train ride is actually functional. I didn't know that. Yeah, you can see the train going around here a bit. I guess it also goes, yeah. It travels through here. Okay, well, it travels throughout the buildings here. There's a little station here. And I like how the roof was made here with the wooden coaster pieces and this car ride, or the monster truck ride pieces on top. He probably should have put these flat roof pieces 1 unit higher with a tile inspector. Because right now, as you can see on this part, you cannot see those pieces anymore. So yeah, if you move them up a little bit like this, then you can actually see them again everywhere. So yeah, that's probably something to keep in mind. A nice little Ferris wheel here, and yeah, this plot looks quite impressive. I really like how he made a custom Christmas tree here, and also it's quite cool how the train passes under it. I guess this tree was really the eye catcher of this plot. Alright, here's the plot that got second place. Let me actually zoom out a bit. This was my plot. I made this toy car factory, and here I used quite a cool trick. I actually made a video about this once, because there's 3 car rides that actually share a piece of track here. I made a tutorial video on how to do this, so if you want to see how I did that, you should check out that video. But yeah, there's 3 different car rides here. For this middle part of the track, I actually made the track invisible and put some dinghy slide chain lift track here. Now, one thing I probably could have done a little bit better is that quite often the cars are actually glitching through each other here, and that's mostly because the car rides actually have a different speed when going up hills or down hills, depending on whether there's guests in the cars or not, because they add a little bit of weight to the cars. So yeah, I probably should have done some tricks to make it to make the distance between the cars consistent, so they don't clip through each other. But yeah, these three tracks really all follow their own path around the building. Sometimes they go outside the building for a bit. I made these big, impressive windows on the factory building. I was quite happy with how those windows turned out. Also, I put this roof on top to follow the shape of the windows. I think that actually worked out quite well. Quite happy with how it looks. And right here on this part of the ride, I actually put some hidden chain lifts on the track. So in this part of the track, the cars will actually travel around faster. I guess this was supposed to be sort of a test track for the toy cars that get produced in this factory. Now also around here I put lots of scenery. I made these little Christmas trees, and I put all this stardust and blinking lights on them. I think that gave quite a cool effect. Also here I put some glass to make it look like a frozen lake, and the car ride actually goes under the ice for a bit. Thought that was also a funny effect. And again, there's a sleigh ride traveling here in the sky above the factory. I just had to have that. Okay, here's the plot that ended up in first place, the winner of this round.
This one was made by Supra the Hedgehog, and damn, this plot is impressive. I think he scored at least half a point higher than the plot made by me, and it's really a clear winner, I think. So yeah, this plot is just packed with stuff. These buildings that he made all look really nice. So yeah, he made this launched mine train coaster with a little airtime hill that gets launched into this building. Then there's a big twisty track here. He made a Christmas tree here with a rotor drop in the middle. The mine train coaster actually goes also around the Christmas tree a few times. He made some presents here. I think this is a really good idea to use these geometric pieces to work as the part of the wrap, of the wrapping paper, the wrapping tie. Yeah, these buildings are just they all look really good layering. I really like how he made the windows here and these buildings on the side. This furnace here on the side is really cool. And yeah, this is clearly the winner of the round. Also, he has this sleigh ride going around here, but it's actually rideable by guests, and it just goes around here on the floor. I think he actually turned it into a lift. Oh, he actually made a 3D cinema. So yeah, if you turn a tracked ride into a 3D cinema using the arbitrary ride type state, it also becomes invisible, and it will also get some decent stats. So yeah, I guess that's a good thing. Alright, that was everything that was built in this round. I really liked some of the stuff that was built in this round. Also really enjoyed making my little factory. I hope you guys also enjoyed watching this video. If you want to join any of my rounds, you can join my Discord. The link is in the description. And I hope to see you again in the next video. See you later.